Welcome to the podcast. This is episode 19. Something new opened up with Ace, A.C.E, aka Anthony Pierce, aka Ace the Outsider, aka the founder of Thunderwolves Media, aka
I got the most shows in Buffalo. The most active shit going on. No lie to anybody else. I'm not lying to anybody else, but I'm just saying, like, there's been a lot of different versions
talk your
of Ace.
sauce, man.
There's been a lot
What
of
the fuck?
versions of Ace. You've seen him in different types of media. You've seen him produce different types of shows. You've seen him on comedy shows. You've seen him on gaming channels. You've seen him on serious channels. You've seen him on poetry channels. You've seen him on educational channels. Like, there's something special about that boy Ace. Like,
something special about him.
You know, something.
I heard he was a nut ass nigga. Though.
Yeah, I am a nutty ass.
Ace, my guy.
Yo, what up?
Welcome to the podcast.
It's here.
Good to have
It's
you
here.
finally.
Yeah.
I've known you for 7 years.
Yeah.
Now at this point,
Yeah.
back
Pushing
to
a
C's.
decade.
Yeah,
pushing a young
the
decade.
the young 10 years, the young double digits.
Yeah.
No, but let me start this off by giving you flowers, man.
Oh man, no.
Because I feel like a lot of people
Need a handkerchief, man. Wait a minute.
don't give the flowers when the flowers are due.
Yeah.
They wait until something bad happens to give the flowers. So, take you back to NCCC days, up there in college. I'm sitting in my communications class, right, listening to get talk about whatever the fuck he's talking about. I couldn't even tell you what communications was about.
This is short man.
But I learned it better by doing stuff like this,
I'm about to say, yeah. Look where it
guy
got
in
you.
the mustard vest.
Mustard vest.
No, but you came in the room. Hey, anybody want to sign up for a digital media club? Having it in the C wing. Was it the C wing or the D wing?
Yeah.
Pause. Come down to the, at this time, whatever. If you want to sign up. But back then I was mad shy, fresh out of high school. I'm like, I don't know anything about anything. Like, I just started to come into my own a little bit in high school. Started smoking weed and all this other shit. As he checks his phone, he's a popular guy. He's blowing up all over the place. But I'm gonna tell a story. So, I go and sign up. I go down to the D wing. Pause. And this is where the meeting is happening. And this is where I meet this guy. So, it was before the dreads too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was way before the. Well, not way, but it's it's before the dreads.
It was not waves. Let me tell you that for a fact. It was not waves. I don't think I really even ever had waves.
Oh, wait, did I say waves? I meant dreads.
Okay, yeah.
I totally meant to say dreads.
No, but at the time
I had waves at the time.
My hair was short, I think. I think my hair was short at the time.
It was.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like a Caesar or nothing like that. It was like a little fro, but it was shaped up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Ugly.
I'm telling you about you.
Looking like Cookie off of Ned's Declassified.
No, for real though. Yeah, the Cookie. Yeah, that's what he was.
Little Cookie Bush.
Right. So I went down there. Lo and behold, we become really good friends just from the simple fact that we both love music.
Yeah.
We both have had similar ideas at the time.
Yeah.
Was able to connect on anime level, the music level.
Yeah. We just like talking. We like
goofy.
Laughing and goofing off.
Right.
Like, we really like talking a lot of shit.
Thank you for saving me as I tried to find other antonyms.
Just like, that's what it is. Like, we like goofing off and talking a lot of shit. Anytime we get up, it's just mad.
Right.
Mad laughs.
It's a lot of me annoying you
Yo,
by singing or rapping.
Shit you be saying, I'm just like, what in the world? But yeah, I appreciate that, man. Like, we had.
No, I wasn't done though.
Oh, okay. No. Yeah, keep going, please.
So we start the Wolves Den together, right?
Yeah.
Me and you, the host.
Wolves Den.
You're the host. I'm the co-host.
Mm-hmm.
And you, first of all, both of us were not like very good to start off. As he brings the phone closer to text, which is crazy. I've never had this before.
That first freestyle we did.
Yeah, awful. Yeah, awful. And I was rapping.
Yeah,
I'm supposed to be the rapper. Here go me. Yo, coming through. First of all, don't go look those up.
Yo,
that's kind of embarrassing. But I'm not gonna take them down. I'm not gonna take them down. No, they there.
Shit.
No, they up there. but I'm not gonna take him down. Versace Karate. Yeah, you can go back in the histories.
Versace Karate.
Karate.
We just rhyme whatever sound like it rhymed, even if it didn't rhyme all the way. We just rhymed it, or no matter how simple it was, we fucking rhymed it. And it took us a while to get to that rhyme. We eventually rhymed it.
Right, exactly. There's a lot of stumbles, a lot of scraping the knee, metaphorically.
Listen. Yeah.
Shout out to Carol Williams.
Yeah, shout out to Carol.
Just for being cool. It was our guidance counselor.
Real cool. You need some guidance in that ugly ass community college.
For sure.
She actually gave a damn.
Right. Always going live.
I'm going live.
Oh, what up? Live. Don't put me on there. This guy's going live on my podcast.
It's
Weird.
Just for a little bit, not for the whole thing.
Oh yeah, no, it's fine. I wasn't saying it like don't do that. I'm just making jokes.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, you wanted to have people hear me give you fucking flowers. That's what it was.
No, I waited until after you were done.
No, I wasn't done though.
Well, hey, listen, this is content, okay? We are in the age of content.
This
is the content age, so whatever makes me look good, damn it, I'm gonna put it up.
No, for sure, you have to do that. Not a lot makes you look good. No, I'm joking. But no, we start that off, and that's where I really came into my own as far as like being able to talk to other people, being able to open up.
Yeah.
Being able to open up. You know what I mean? And I didn't do that on purpose.
Right.
Yeah, it just happens, It just happens from the wolves den. Now I gotta look at myself too. Yeah. But yeah. So I always thank you for that, for opening me up to a new world of talking.
Yeah.
To randoms.
Yeah, I like being able to share something with people, like just seeing potential in people too, because like I could tell you were shy, but like the moment was like this is the moment that we had to like create. You know what I'm saying? And then like the other thing about that group that we started, a lot of people had fell off. Like after whoever like put me on fell off, like after the first few months.
Right.
And
which I don't even think I met that person.
Oh my, I forgot her name. But yeah, so yeah, people once that fell apart, whatever other shows we had going off started to trickle off, and then it was just you and I.
Right.
And so I'm like,
yeah, you had the howl.
Yeah.
Whatever y'all was talking about on the howl.
Yeah. Right, that was the first show. Listen, I was marketing.
No, I know, and that you've always been that marketing guy. Yeah. You always come up with new ideas. Yeah. Like when we left in Triple C, you popped out with Hood Code. You popped out with Toon Tales. What's it called? Toon
Trends.
Toon Trends. You popped out with Porchside Poetry. What was it called?
Porchside Poetry. Yeah,
that's what it was called.
Yeah. You good. You got it.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, you nice. And that was before. I think that was before I even came to N-Trip, wasn't it?
You might have been doing it, but I think you ramped up more.
Up yeah.
You started doing it a lot more after.
Yeah.
Because community college, 2 years, it's a short stint. It's really not. We're here forever. It's 2 years or two and a half or whatever. So you make your mark
for sure
in that small amount of time. I think we definitely made our mark. Chiefly you, for even starting that stuff off. So.
Yeah, man. Well, like I said. I saw the potential. I'm like, all right, he wants to do this show, so we're going to do it. We're going to have X amount of guests up here. We're going to have this. We're going to have that. And, like, we bounce ideas off each other, and we made it work. You know what I'm saying?
I'm sorry, I'm laughing. What are you drinking right now?
Yo, listen. So I got a flask.
This nigga looks like...
Let me tell you something.
You hit the hard...
Hey, nephew.
Yeah, right. No, that's you. That's you. Are you an uncle?
No.
Oh,
I am not an uncle. None of my siblings have dropped seeds yet. I have to be the one to initiate, but
oh really?
Yeah,
oh,
not that I have to be.
When's
but
that
like,
gonna happen?
Huh? Oh, see, I don't know yet. Within the next few years, like I'm almost to a point where I feel comfortable making that first family step. So like it's getting there. So
little Ace or A.C.E is gonna be running around crazy. What does ACE stand for?
ACE. Okay, so this is how my name got brought in. So when I did poetry back in high school, I was shy too. You know what I'm saying? So
wow, birds of a feather flock together.
You know what I'm saying? Exactly. So but like a woman who was a poet came to our English class, and she started like teaching us how to like build poetry. And so I would write, but I wouldn't share because I had been writing a little bit for a while, but I wouldn't want to share like speak in front of people because I never really did it.
Right.
And so she volunteered to speak the poems for me, and so I would be one of the few who were chosen. So she would start reading them like so after like
you were her ghostwriter.
Yeah, pretty much. But
she gave you credit.
Yeah, right.
It's that kid back there. He didn't want to stand up.
It was anonymous. But then she said, I think I want to give this person a name. She was like, this is how she did it. She was like, Ace.
Wow.
Like that's how she did it, like with the wave and everything.
And this was back when in high school?
This is like sophomore year.
Where'd you go?
Freshman year. Amherst.
Okay, word.
Yeah, this is Amherst freshman year. Sherry Robbins was her name. And yeah, that's exactly how she did it. It was all like majestic and smooth. I'm like, oh, that's cool. So
he was like,
so then after I started like reciting poetry. Yeah, right. Ooh, I like that. Hey. But yeah, I started reciting poetry after that, and then that kind of stuck with me through high school. And then I'm like, okay, there's a lot of aces out there. Ace is actually a real common ass name. You got like Master Ace, that's a hip hop legend.
Right.
And so I'm just like, okay, let me switch it up. So that's when I went to go with A.C.E.
Mm-hmm.
So after that, I kept on saying A.C.E., A.C.E., and that became an acronym for Ace's Creative Ego. Because that's when I felt like I was something different. I was like,
you're still Ace,
right?
But it now is broken up. So Ace Creative Ego. Okay.
And then, so I was planning on changing it because I just feel like there had to be something else behind it. So then someone else who was named A.C.E. in Buffalo pressed me about my name one time. I'm just
I remember that era.
Yeah, right.
I remember that. It's like
I'm just like,
yo.
This is first of all, this is a common ass name. Like this is Ace in like every city. It's like 5 different Aces.
Who presses someone about a name?
Right.
You pressed me.
And first of all,
that's like when the LA-based Greenhouse Projects jumped into my DM. You remember that? And I was telling you about that. The old heads in LA jumped in my. You're like, yo, we the real Greenhouse Projects represent. We don't like nobody repping our name. I'm like, shut the fuck up. Shut your dumb ass up. Anyway.
Shit, son. Yeah, and it's like, how when you have an acronym, you have a period after each letter, right?
Yeah.
But some people don't put a period after that last letter.
If you tell me something goofy, I swear to God.
I'm just saying.
No,
his
go ahead.
Was A period C period E. And that was it. So, yeah. But I mean, I didn't like take it to heart or anything. Like, it is what it is.
Yours was A period C period E.
Yeah. Because you're still abbreviating at that point. You know what I'm saying?
And so if you didn't have those periods, it probably wouldn't have been an issue.
Whatever the fucking case. Anyway, so moving on.
That's annoying.
It is annoying, but
is this person still around?
I mean, yeah, and they eventually changed their name too to something totally, you know what I'm saying? So I'm just like,
what's her name now?
Yeah. You want me to put smoke out into the air like that?
What are you scared of?
I'm not scared of anything. It's just that I don't want to bring energy to it when I'm talking about myself, and it's gonna go into like a whole different thing. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
We here to talk about
facts. We here to talk about ACE, ATO, Ace the Outsider.
Right. So I'm just like, yo, I'm
Anthony, my words. I remember that.
Yo, my words.
My words.
So like, yeah. So after
Tell
that,
me after.
Yeah. So after that, I just wanted to, I just been an outsider everywhere I went. No matter what circle I was around, I was able to fit in some way, whether it was small or large. But I still feel comfortable going to someone else's circle, whether it's these hood niggas over here or these nerdy niggas over here who not even are really like nerdy niggas. They just nerds. And it's just like I stand out, but still feeling like an outsider, but being able to traverse any type of social circle. I felt like an outsider, but I was cool in my own way.
Right.
So that's how I came up with the name A.C.E. Outsider.
Gotcha.
So just like J. Rue the Damager, just like Tyler the Creator, and you got A.C.E. Outsider. So
word.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dope origin story.
You know,
it's like a Marvel character. You like Marvel or DC better?
Yeah, listen, you see what I got on, right? So this is an Avengers. This is an Avengers shirt.
Peep.
You didn't even peep.
I didn't even peep the exclusive merch.
Let me show you the back real quick. The back
got all the names. Oh my God. And he's rocking the Black Panther hat, and he's got the Black Panther movement. How dare I even ask that stupid question? Puts his feet on my table though. Crazy. Wow. That's insane.
I'm gonna sanitize that later.
Word, okay. Yeah. COVID-19.
Yeah.
Gotta watch out for it.
Raccoon City right now.
Right.
Are
you scared of that?
No.
All right, I'm not scared.
Yeah,
of it
we
either.
black, bro. Like
Right.
we got other shit to worry
Right.
about.
All right, that's what I'm just making sure.
Yeah,
I'm
no.
just making sure.
Like I mean,
Because there's people out here like, oh my god, the coronavirus is gonna kill us all.
I went to Wegmans
Like,
and they were
shut
cleared
up.
out of sanitize. Like everything that's used to sanitize anything.
Y'all
was
nasty
sold
ass
out.
ain't been washing your hands this whole fucking time. Now
You know what I'm
COVID-19
saying?
possibly is in around here.
Listen, man, that's just
And now y'all want to wash your damn hands.
Right.
Y'all been nasty. Be nasty still.
yeah, all right.
You gonna
Scratch
be,
your butt and
you
shake
gonna
my
be
hand.
clean.
Like,
You gonna start being clean, and then the damn disease. I'm like, oh wow, they're trying, and they're gonna get all in you. Like if you was dirty, they're like, no, dirty, ugh, gross. I can't penetrate dirt.
Yeah, all right.
I can penetrate clean.
Oh,
So it's like,
I just want to fuck their life up. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, right. Just like
viruses are like just thug ass niggas.
they
Like,
are.
that's
No,
what
they are.
It's
They're like, oh, you
this
having
is
a
healthy?
good time? You doing good in life? Take this.
All
Take
right.
this sickness.
Straight up. Oh man.
You have seasonal allergies though, because it's that time.
I thank the Lord above that I was not born with allergies or any like chronic illnesses
Right.
like, as a young person. So
Good.
I think I'm starting to develop allergies though, because at a certain type of season,
Oh,
that's
shit.
when I think I get like a sniffly nose and I get
Yeah.
stuffed up a little bit. But for the most part, I've been cool.
Word.
So
Got you.
yeah,
Allergies used to be terrible.
for you,
Yeah.
man,
Yeah, it used to be terrible.
Yeah.
Then I got my tonsils out.
oh,
And so
yeah.
now I don't get allergies
Yeah.
anymore. Weird.
Well, that's weird.
Yeah.
Yes, there is a reason why they take those tonsils out.
Yeah.
Can you imagine like people who didn't like get those things like tonsils taken out or appendixi?
Appendix. Because there's only one.
Right.
And it don't grow back.
It don't.
It doesn't.
Like people who didn't get those taken out or wisdom teeth, like they didn't get those taken
I
out.
didn't
So
get
like
my
how
wisdom teeth out.
did they live? Yeah, right. But I'm just saying like I
And they are kidding through.
had to get my wisdom teeth taken out.
Right.
You know?
Well, the thing is with wisdom teeth is if you leave them in, they will start crashing into your teeth and like fuck your teeth up, make them crooked and shit.
My teeth is already crooked. Crooked smile. Like
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's you. It's a
I
personality
actually got like
trait.
a bicuspid that never came down.
A
Like
what?
my like a tooth in my front, like next to my front teeth.
Oh, really?
That never came down. Like the tooth had fell out, and like he had hit snooze so many times, and he ain't show up for work. And so the rest of the teeth are just like, I guess this nigga ain't coming.
Who
So
are
we
you
just
talking about?
my tooth.
No, I get
Just like,
it.
He ain't show up for work, so everybody else is just like, well, we're just gonna fill in the space.
Lazy ass
So he's still up there.
nigga. Oh, it's still up there
It's still up
above
there.
your other teeth?
Yeah, I just realized
Oh,
it's like
that's
last year the
crazy.
dentist told me like they took X-rays. They're just like, oh, this tooth never came down. And I'm just like, y'all been counting my teeth all this time,
All this
and
fucking
now y'all
time.
realize one tooth is missing. Like,
Hmm.
shouldn't every human, most like normal, quote unquote normal humans, have a certain amount of teeth?
Right.
Like,
No, they do. It's a set number. Don't ask me what it is because I'm
it's
not
like
a
30. It's like
biologist.
32 or 33. It's something.
It
more than
sounds
30. Yeah.
sounds right. You know what's creepy?
Yeah.
Babies have all their teeth when they're born. They don't grow. They're just there. So
Yeah.
if you take an X-ray of a baby skull,
Yeah.
it's just fucking teeth.
Okay.
Yeah,
bunch of
it's
teeth
just
just
like
at the
that's
top,
so
just
weird.
waiting to come out. I mean, like, they gotta grow. Like,
Them shits is up there.
they're like up at the nose and the cheek and just like.
No, for
waiting to
real
come
though.
down.
Yeah, that's why they're weak.
Yeah.
A little.
That's why they're weak.
They are. They got a lot of teeth.
Yeah, no teeth having ass. Well, you can't
That's why
defend
their head is
yourself.
heavy.
That's why the head is heavy. All the teeth is weighing the faces down.
Oh,
Man.
god damn it! So we were on the Wolves Den. We had a lot of AKAs.
Yo, listen. What was I like?
AKA I got
coolest
here.
kid on campus.
Yeah.
Like,
AKA I got here on a boat with no propellers. That's after I stole that from you. It was
Yeah.
like I got here on a plane with something.
yeah.
I was like,
I got here on a plane with no wings or something.
Yeah, exactly. And here I go. I was like, I got here on a boat with no propellers. It's like thieving ass nigga.
I was like, we were trying to add like a different character because I had never really like heard that before. So like, once
Right.
I got into the names, like got into the habit of making names, I'm just like, oh, we should just have fun with it. Like, yeah,
Right.
yeah,
Okay, so that's kind of where it came from. Is just like having fun.
yeah. I mean,
Word.
everything I do is like from having fun. Like any type of show that I do, if I'm having fun with something, I want to make a show out of it. I want to make it into something.
Right.
That's how I started doing my YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm pretty sure questions about that are about to come up. So
Yeah.
yeah. All right. Where do you want me to start? Like just at wherever.
So we already talked about the Wolves Den.
Uh-huh.
It was and first of all, we pioneered that.
What? Yeah.
We pioneered a whole genre in Buffalo.
We had a good formula for addressing the hip hop culture in Buffalo. Like, there's been a lot of people who have done rap stuff in Buffalo.
Right.
We're not taking anything away from them, but as people like in our generation, like in those particular years, we had something that people could use as a vehicle to kind of like.
No, it was the thing that people knew.
Yeah.
And was like, yo, I'm trying to get on the Wolves. Dude.
Yeah, like
that was a thing.
And like after the first year, we started getting a lot of inboxes about like, yo, what's up with the show? Yada yada. And shout out to everybody who came up on the show.
Definitely.
Because like those same people are doing really good things right now. And they're I'm saying the same people who came on the show, like at some point they came through our outlet and did something with their, you know.
Some of them.
Even if it's still like local, still that matters because it's local and it's for the people who are from the city, and that's what drives the culture.
Right.
So at least the Buffalo culture. So.
See, I'm trying to keep it real.
Yeah, I know.
Like, not all y'all niggas. But
not everybody. This ain't for everybody. You know what I'm saying? Like, even if you use hip hop, rap.
This is politically correct, Ace.
Yeah.
These days, this man right here is politically correct.
I'm just making sure everybody gets their due, like, and everybody.
I used to be politically correct, man. We switched.
Is that what happened?
No, I don't care.
Yeah.
And you care.
Yeah.
So we gonna play on the care level. Because I don't want to offend anyone.
I'm only giving credit where.
Yo, shout out to Short though.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Shout
like that's
Short.
The first one that popped in my mind.
Yeah. He actually is doing a lot.
Yeah.
14 trap doors. I think it is, right?
I'll shout out, everybody who I can think of at the moment. Short Scotty, Sim Sugar, Rich Slave.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying?
For sure. He's putting stuff back out.
Yeah.
Alex.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I'm saving him for
that's
last.
Okay, well, my bad. My fault. Let me shut the fuck up.
No. Like Marcus Burley, he's doing the guy who did our beats all the time. Shout out to Mischief. Yo, listen. I've been using Mischief beats for a long ass time. That is my man from high school. His name is Jaron. So he
that's who that is?
Yeah. You know?
No.
This whole time?
No.
Word?
No. Wow.
I could have sworn at some point you asked me who Mischief was, and I told you.
Crazy. All right, but go ahead.
Yeah, okay, yeah, but that's my friend from high school, and he did a lot of the beats, and people started asking, yo, who's this guy who did your beats? And that's how I help him. Like to this day, I'm still hearing that he makes beats for people, and people are going off of it, even though he's not this big name in Buffalo, underground. He's got something going, and I'm glad that I can help him start that. You know what I'm saying? That's where the love is. Putting everybody on. Yeah. So.
For sure. Just gonna stop right there at the names. Couldn't think of nobody.
No, oh, come on. Put me on the spot.
Yo, how's your cousin doing? Jay Amaro.
He's good. He's good. He has
still rapping?
he's still rapping here and there. He was featured in Houston at some point.
He was featured in Houston, the city?
On the radio. Yeah.
Because
he's from LA. They played him in Houston.
Gotcha.
So
I was like, what does that mean?
He's gone through a different name, but yeah, he's good.
Dope.
Thanks for asking.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
And then shout out to Alex.
yeah, there you go. And then shout out to Black Bravo,
aka
what was his name? Sphinx aka Creative Connect nowadays.
Yo,
he was on episode 3 or 4 of this podcast.
Right. Element AU.
Fire.
That was a nice ass.
That was really fire.
Debut, first project, first time doing anything. Shout out to Alex, yo. That was
for sure. Shout out to him. Go get his hardcover book.
Go get his.
It's called Observations.
Cover book. Wasn't he he was a dean? He was recognized by the dean of students at Buff State and everything. He's had a
he's had a lot of accolades.
As a glow up, shout out to him. You know what I'm saying? We are 3 special people who were innovative and wanted to do something.
And still innovative.
Innovative at the time, who are still innovative for sure, and just did something and are staying true to that.
Shout out to Radio Washi.
Yeah, Radio Washi too. Denzel. Both of them.
Shout out to Where the Body's
At.
Taylor.
Alexander Harold and Denzel. What's his last name again?
Tab.
Both of them people in the booth.
Oh yeah, Denzel's ridiculous. Remember that party you had? And he was rapping the poster, the Marvel poster, and Joey stopped him. He was like, "Man, I was about to keep going. I had the Green Lantern." I was like, "Yo, you're insane."
Oh man, that was nuts.
Yeah,
shout out to all the parties I've had.
2 wordsmiths
Yeah, for real.
Yeah, you're like a legendary party thrower.
I love bringing people together. I love seeing people have a good time. So I'm always about that. No matter what background you come from,
Right.
if you can turn up, if you can have fun, whether you are the person dancing in the middle of the floor or you are in the back smoking the trees, like
Right.
chilling, not talking to anybody, but still like vibing.
Or the DJ
You know what I'm
getting
saying?
death threats.
Or the DJ getting death.
That was me.
No
was
matter
like,
who you
"Weird."
are, you are welcome to the function, bro. As long as you don't start no shit, because we all got knives and we're armed, and
Right.
I'm a ninja
Armed
myself
and dangerous.
sometimes. So, you know what I'm
Right.
saying? I'll bring out them tech moves on your ass and fucking wreck
You
your
got
shit.
Oh, you got a notification.
It
Your
happened.
thing was saying bars and delivery tonight.
What?
I don't know. I can't read that far.
Okay.
It's content, man. It's content.
Yeah,
It's content. It's
Yeah,
content.
content's always coming
What's the
first.
craziest thing that happened at one of your parties?
Ooh, okay. So I'm trying
Don't
to
hold
think
back.
crazy between like violent crazy or
No,
just like
crazy.
nuts?
Like we don't like violent.
Yeah. So
But I mean, if violent was the craziest thing, then I mean, by all means.
I've done so many crazy things. Like I've hung from the ceiling. I've taken my shirt off and danced with multiple women at the same time. There was a one fight though where the only fight that I ever had at my parties was a female, and I didn't even really know her like that. A friend of a friend brought her. So
That's
like
the worst kind.
You know what I'm saying? She was at first she was turning up with women with the girls, and then she started like side eyeing them, talking shit. The liquor got in her. Next thing you know, they fighting. My dad had to come downstairs, had to carry her out. She dropped the heel. I threw the heel at her head.
Get the fuck out.
That one got nuts. The other one, oh man, it was one of my birthday parties. I got so jacked up. Like it was light at first, you know. My inner circle of friends were there.
Right.
Some other people were there. Slowly, it was growing. I had mad shots. I had like a Fruity Loops flavored liquor, you know, Pinnacle. They do, like, the
yeah,
flavored
they
drink.
have everything.
I had that.
Cloud
This
flavor.
this crazy subject of a human being named Ripley happened to give me
Shout
a
out
lot
Ripley.
of shots of a lot of shots of Jägermeister. Every other like moment, he would like want me to take a shot. So I said okay, and so at some point, my eyes had closed, and when they opened,
Oh, shit.
my basement was flooded with people.
Oh,
I'm like, yo, who are these people coming to my house in droves? It's like UB heard about the party and they just started coming. I'm
Oh
just like,
my
yo,
god.
there are too many people here, and I'm slumped in the chair.
Right.
So like
no.
and
Get out.
and shout out
Can't
to
say
my
nothing.
shout out to my friends for like being able to realize what was happening and being able to disperse the party in the proper way and
Right.
alert my parents and everything. So they were upstairs. They like when I have parties, but like, yeah, it was just nuts. It was mayhem.
God
I was
damn.
being helped up the stairs. I threw up on the stairs in front of my mom. It was nuts, yo. So shout out to Deanna and Joanna for helping me out on that party. I love y'all. Y'all great.
Shout out to them.
Man, but yeah, that was one of the wildest parties I had. And like, I didn't even really get to like show out. Like, I
Right.
had just drank so much in such a short amount
Ripley
of time.
got you ripped from jump. Yo, Ripley got you ripped off rip.
Off of rip. So, but yeah, that's one of the craziest parties I've had.
Word.
Yeah. So
Crazy ass story.
stories.
Yo,
for
being
days.
blackout drunk is not fun.
It's not.
And I'm not telling the fucking story again here. If you want to listen to the story, you can go watch one of the other episodes or Drinks at 5.
Yeah. Oh, where you still doing that? That's what's up.
No.
Oh,
no,
but
no,
okay.
no,
Oh,
no.
yeah.
It was
okay.
on an episode.
Gotcha. Yeah. Nah.
You can only find it on YouTube. I deleted them from SoundCloud, and you can't,
Word.
get them anywhere else
Word.
because that's an era that
Yeah.
died.
Yeah. I
unfortunately.
got blackout stories though, but I'm not gonna get into all of them.
I was about to say, oh yeah,
We on a
let's hear
different level.
some, but,
I'm on a new level. I'm just.
Did you say what you were drinking?
Yeah.
You just said you were an uncle, and then we start laughing and it derailed
it's
to
just
somewhere
like
else.
two different shots of Absolute. I think they're doing like a mix of like apple and like some type of fruit flavor, but they don't really taste like much of anything. Like
That's your steez?
no, I just picked up. I saw it in the alcohol store, and I said I'm gonna try those
The
out.
alcohol store.
Liquor store. I mean, it was alcohol. It wasn't just like shut up. So anyway. I just had them in the freezer. I'm like, let me just mix them together. But I'm running off of like 4 hours of sleep. 4 hours last night, and then like 2 hours of a nap today. So
You're a busy guy.
But then I'm like, let me just get real adventurous and just drink this. You know what I'm saying? So, and then I'm gonna drive Lyft afterwards.
After this?
No.
I was going to say you.
No.
You're crazy.
No. But follow my page, Lift Homie Quan, at Lift Homie Quan.
Yeah, Lift Homie Quan. That's another thing. Like, you always have some, like,
it's always
other thing.
On. So, can I tell you one of my...
No, go ahead, though.
One of my fears? Like, one of my fears are having good ideas. And I say that because...
That's interesting.
When I have a good idea... I want to put my attention towards it, but there's only so many hours in a day, so I end up taking time away from something else in order to feed this idea.
Right.
And I'll spend like a whole week thinking about this idea, like how can I make this into something else? What would the logo look like? What would this look like? Oh, I could record this. I could record this moment. I could record this moment. So there's something always going on in my head.
Yeah.
And I've had that since I was a kid. Like when I was a kid, I imagined, a bunch of like cartoons that I could create.
Right.
So like in my head, I was like acting them out in my room, like jumping around, all this other shit. Because I was heavily inspired by Toonami.
Yeah.
You know, Toonami was that block.
Shout out to Toonami.
Like before they were streaming, before there was all these other outlets where you can just instantly access your stuff, you had to wait for it to come on. So you look forward to that part of your day at 4 or 5 o'clock when Sailor Moon would come on, or something else crazy weird would come on to like warm you up, and then Dragon Ball Z comes on,
right?
And then Tenchi Muyo comes on, and then Gundam comes on.
Wait, what was the second thing you said?
Tenchi, remember Tenchi Muyo? He had a.
Oh no, I don't.
It was a dude. Yu Yu Hakusho.
Yeah.
But then
Spirit Gun.
Actually, that was a little more adult. So that might have came on at night. But yeah, so all them shows like wanted me to like have a block where it's just like the most intense action shows you could think of. So since then, I've been thinking about action shows, and I even started to write my own. So, but yeah, so that's how I kind of got into having an active imagination and how I kind of owned it. And now as an adult, it's just like, damn, you only got so much time in a day. And like we're always looking on Instagram, seeing these people who are doing it. You're just like, how the F can I get there? And, really like show the world what I have to offer in it. And can I get the world to love this thing like I love it?
Right.
So that's been like one of the challenges. So I think it all comes down to consistency. Like, what do you want to be consistent with? What do you wake up thinking about every day? And, taking the signs that you're getting from the world, like opportunities, seeing what's available, seeing the doors that are open, and then just having the goal and the gumption to take those doors. You know what I'm saying? So it is a lot of trial and error. Like, there's been so many things that I've started and stopped doing for multiple reasons. So yeah, so it's just all about what can you stick with and what can you keep going, and what do you see for it in the future too? What do you see like 10 steps ahead on?
Right. So
that's a bunch of different ways of how I've been able to look at my ideas, and be satisfied with not going on every idea, but also realizing that what's going to take an idea to get it to the level that you want it to get at is going to take a certain amount of discipline and take a certain amount of time. So you might have to cut something off in order to make this thing grow. It's like a bonsai tree, right? You got to like trim it, you got to prune it, you got to look at it, how everything else moving around it, and also your energy around it too. Like that also affects it. So yeah.
Got you. I think the good thing about having all those ideas though, is having a lot of like little sprouts that you can come back to whenever you want to.
Right. Yeah.
So you have Poor Side Poetry you can come back to do anytime you want. You got Hood Code you could start back up anytime you want, people fiending for that shit.
Right.
You have Tune Trends that you can go back to, very easy to do.
Yeah.
And I'm saying these things because like it's not like you started them and did like one thing with them. You did multiple versions, multiple episodes, seasons even. So yes, it is a challenge for sure. Right. But I do believe that it's it's also a blessing. Yeah, because you have, like I said, you have so much you could come back to. You have fan bases of people like wanting these things, and once you come back, it's like, oh shit, he's back. Oh shit, tune. Like it can all come back. But now you're focusing on something that's really powerful, and I think that it helps a lot of people out, and you're getting a lot of traction right now. Which is the Wakanda Alliance.
Yes, the Wakanda Alliance. That is my. I really, really love that project. So
tell me a little bit about that, how it got started.
Yeah. So it wasn't even my original idea. My homie DQ, he works with Panfrica. They do like community things. They're all about Afrofuturism. For those who don't know Afrofuturism, you've probably seen the word at least once by now. That's kind of like a sci-fi. Yeah, it's like a sci-fi genre of reimagining a black future using the African diaspora. So African, Black, Caribbean, wherever Black people or people like those people are, using their culture as kind of like a vehicle and reimagining it to encourage yourself or inspire oneself. So you have things like Black Panther, where it's like this is a country of Africans who were never conquered by other Africans or by any outside other continents.
People didn't even know it existed.
Right.
It was a myth.
It was a myth, right? So like using that, and how do they just advance above everybody else when they don't have anybody else's influence, because they have the top influence. So you have that. Then you have artists like Janelle Monáe. You have artists like Outkast, who were like on that alien stuff, or have that futuristic Erykah Badu.
Right.
So it's not limited to just movies.
Jadena.
Yeah, Jadena. Yeah, Jadena's another.
Can you say Jadena?
I didn't say.
No, I said kid you.
In a way. I mean, listening to his music, from what I've heard, it's not Afrofuturistic. Like, it's definitely African inspired because he is African. He has those roots, but.
You're talking about on the extreme level.
On the futurism level, when it comes to like that scientific sci-fi, science fiction, which isn't really fiction, is actually like we're actually people who are meant to push the future forward.
Right, of course.
When it comes to that has a specific, area itself. Now you can get into like I've seen a term called Afrotopian, where it's like you're using influences from Africa to reimagine the past or the present. But when it comes to the future, it's something different. So, but it's been around for like decades. I've heard things like in my group, we've said things like Martin Luther King was an Afrofuturist because he reimagined what will be like in the future. We would be a people of peace. We would be a utopia. I've heard like Harriet Tubman was an Afrofuturist because she wanted to liberate the people and get them to another plane of existence where we are free, where we are able to do what we want, able to build whatever we want. And she didn't have any knowledge of Africa at the time. Probably didn't have any knowledge of us thriving as a people. Right. Yes. Right. But she knew she wanted some freedom real bad. Right. So, the Wakanda, going back to Wakanda Alliance, we're all about using, helping people reimagine Black futures using the Black Panther comics, because they take a lot of stuff from the diaspora. So it's a reading comprehension program, not just for kids, for adults too, because we invite families out to our public events, and we read through the comic. We have like a subject of for the day. Like if we want to talk about names, the comic brings up certain names from all over the world. For example, one of the ships is called the Mackendal. The Mackendal actually comes from Francois Mackendal, who was a Haitian revolutionary who escaped slavery and led his people to fighting back. Right? So just naming somebody, that's like having that name as a ship, and that name being connected to rebellion or different roots, like that's powerful. That's how we keep those memories alive, and that's how we like remember that we don't just come from slavery. We come from millennia of people and creatives who have done things in science and philosophy and just creation, period.
Of course.
So, and then we'll go into like there's also spirituality aspects to it. There's science aspects to it. So all those different things are going on in the Black Panther comic. So it's not just, it's just a Marvel superhero thing. Like, no, the people who made the effort to create this comic did their research and are using what's in our bloodline, what's in the world's bloodline to create these stories. So that's what that's about, and that's why it's such a powerful thing for me. You know what I'm saying? Because being a Black American, we feel like, I look at it as like Black people have like a blank slate to work with, or have had a blank slate to work with.
Right.
And us having our identity ripped from us kind of gave us, a blank slate to work with, but able to like take different things and able to create that. Like we have stuff that we created, that we originated, but we also have things that are continued on from other cultures. So
like what?
For example, one current example would be like Afrobeat. You know what I'm saying? Now Americans are starting to push more towards Afrobeat, but that's still like, okay, that's not the best example. I don't know where
you
I
said
can start.
from other cultures, right?
Yeah. I'm trying to think. I know it's hard to find out where to start with that.
Yeah. I'm sure there's a ton.
Yeah, because it's just like, black people in America, we kind of like are just like leaders because we have a big ass country to work with,
cultural leaders,
and we have a lot of things economically and industrially that kind of give us a certain platform, like all the slang, all the media, the rap, the hip hop. So like we're able to pull from these different places. So we're able to make these things super powerful.
Right.
Yeah. So, okay. So for example, like the martial arts. I just watched a martial arts documentary, so that's what's fresh on my mind.
Sure.
So like taking those operas, some of those martial arts movies, and doing something like Wu-Tang.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So like incorporating something, because like in the way that was set up, like back in that era, you had a bunch of New Yorkers who were going to these movies. They were like a quarter or whatever. They were really cheap to see. And these movies were pushed into a demographic of people who didn't have much to work with. Like, they would spend all day in these theaters with like rats and shit running around, sticky ass floors, watching these kung fu movies. So then these kung fu movies inspired black people who had already been working on like dancing, like break dancing and all that shit. Like they took that inspiration and incorporated a little bit of kung fu, not just the action, but also the philosophy into, oh, this is my style. I have to own it. I have to show it's better than someone else's, to make it what it is. So, and that's also kind of getting into that tribal mindset where it's just like we have this tribe, we have this tribe, and we kind of are going to clash at some point. So now we have to make our tribe like the strongest tribe, who has the toughest clique. Right. So it's not even like minimalized to gang warfare. It's minimalized to we have a set code of values, and this is how we do it. So, so that's one example. You know what I'm saying?
Got you. So I'm kind of like getting what you're saying.
Yeah,
for sure.
So, yeah. So it's just like this big vehicle, and I'm glad that Black Panther was able to provide that for us. So, like every month I'm doing research. I'm looking up different ways to like teach people like everything that you're seeing comes from somewhere. And now that it is presented to you, you can just have it just so you can appreciate it, or you can look deeper, or you can look at just the way that the world works. If we're all connected, so what can you do with it to express your art, express your action, your passion?
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And you just recently got a grant, or you won an award?
Yeah, we got a little award for just being a really innovative project.
Congratulations, by the way.
Thank you, because that only happened like half a year after we started.
Right.
So like that
Pretty
gave us
fast,
a gas, like like, this is dope. And like for us to use Black Panther in this way, that hasn't been done. Like as an educational front point, like when the movie came out, a lot of different Wakanda things started popping off. Like they had like a Wakanda wine tour. The guy used the name and like got in trouble for like using a trademark. Yeah.
Wow.
I forgot how that ended up. I think the event happened, but he might have got into a lawsuit after that. And then the same year you had Wakanda Con. There was a whole comic convention based on Wakanda.
Wow.
In Chicago.
Word. All right. I mean, it's definitely big enough for that.
Yeah, right. And like just you think about the black people there, it's just like anyway. So Wakanda Con is there in Chicago. I'm definitely planning to go there later this year too. So there were all these things people were like using Wakanda. They were writing up these think pieces and coming up with these philosophies. Oh, Killmonger was actually the hero. It was all these conversations going around it, but there wasn't enough to push that as an educational thing. How can we teach the next generation who is coming up? Because now they got a black or an African hero to look up to.
Right.
Like if you live pretty much anywhere else in the world, well, the heroes that you're looking up to besides like Batman and Superman, you only got a small choice of characters to choose from.
Right.
especially on the big screen. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Blade.
I was about to say Blade.
Yeah, shout out to Blade.
Shout out to Blade.
He started that shit off, and you know that's why he's got credit coming due to him. And now Mahershala Ali is gonna be the next one, so it's gonna be super.
They
dope.
should put Wesley Snipes in there somewhere.
Somewhere, right? Yeah.
You can't just come in here and be Blade. Yeah. Wesley Snipes, we had Blade already. Don't do that.
Yeah, man. Oh man.
But what do you think about? Okay, so on the topic of black superheroes, what do you think about like they all have like this? Well, not all, but a lot of them have this. I came from poverty, like story, and like Luke Cage, and like street dude, he went to jail, and like what? Why is it always that? Or why is it that a lot of times?
I would say that having that background adds drama to the story because they come from privilege. What struggle did they have to go through to get to where they are? Though? Okay, so I'm trying to think of all the black superheroes now. So you can take somebody like Static Shock. Static.
Literally thinking Static Shock because you are Static.
Did you ever read the old comics?
No, of course not.
So Static was part of a comic industry who was definitely pushing the minorities. So Hispanic, Asian, called Milestone. Okay. So they had their own comic thing going. They're like, let's come up with our own teenage hero to kind of like be like the Spider-Man, so to speak, of our joint. So they came up with Static. Right. They also had Icon, who is he's like a Superman figure. He came from a different planet, was raised as a slave, and then broke through slavery and became like he has a really long period to live. So he's kind of like their Superman. So, and just some history on that. DC tried to integrate them into their story, so they here and there. That's why Static shows up in Justice League or Justice League Unlimited. I think Icon shows up in Young Justice as like the wise. Like super, kind of like a Martian Manhunter. Right. So I don't know that's that. So that's where that all comes from. So I mean, and then Virgil Hawkins, he wasn't like in poverty, but he also wasn't like really middle class either. Like you read in the old comics, he went to a school with a predominantly black school. He had gang trouble too. Like that's why the whole thing started off with the Bang Babies because somebody bullied him. One of the dudes from his hood was like, "Yo, listen. Take this gun, we could off him." And I was like, well, that's the type of early 90s shit, right? So, and then he was like, no, I don't want to do it. And that's when the explosion went off. He got his powers, so to speak. But he was always about taking that high road and always about, doing something with his life, even as a superhero, but also not being a superhero. What's he going to do with it between being a young teen, dealing with girls, dealing with drugs, dealing with all this type of stuff happening. So I think that when it comes to a certain person who's created or a certain type of character who's created in black, I think having a story coming from that background of drama gives kids who maybe don't have those same outlets, they can't look up to Superman the same way they do Static. So kind of showing that connection. Even if you don't come from like poverty, you don't come from like a lower end of the economic spectrum, still seeing that story makes you look at that a bit differently, because I didn't come from like super gritty. Like I've had hard times, but it was never like, oh, we can't eat, oh, we gotta eat, like, whatever. But seeing that type of story also gives you appreciation for those other people who are going through that real shit and seeing that they also have potential. So I think sometimes having those characters, sometimes it's just like, okay, white people created a black character and put them in this situation because that's how they look at black people. Sometimes you do have that, but if you're looking at the content and being able to tell like what's real, what's not, then you can kind of make that. And I think at this moment, 2020, a lot of black creatives have already realized that, and they're just like, oh, we're gonna start making our own stories now. So anime's about to change. Animation in general is about to change. You know what I'm saying? I think
it started with Neo Yokio. Right?
It didn't start with Neo Yokio.
No, it didn't start with it, but I mean, it kind of like started to get legs right around that time. Do you think, or no? Am I just misinformed?
No. Way before Neo Yokio, there were a lot of other comic artists who were working on their own things. So you have Unique Studios. They are based out of somewhere in America. They're American though. They have a bunch of characters that are black and use like these African stories, Afrofuturism, Afrotopianism. Like they use these characters. Zebra Comics, that's based out of, if it's not Zambia, it's one of those other, that's an African based. They've been up there for a while too. Black Sands in Entertainment, he has, I forgot the gentleman's name, but he has his own thing where it's like these kids are in Egypt and they have all these powers. It's based off of Egyptian gods, and he's had that for a while now too. I think just a little under a decade. Back when I was in C, that's when I started to kind of notice these things moving.
Okay.
Noir Caesar.
Yeah.
They are also a comic industry based out of I think California. They actually draw their characters to look more like the mangas, but they feature black bodies. Because when's the last anime where you seen a black character as like the main or like the supporting character? Right. So you have like if you have Naruto, you got B, but he didn't come till much later.
Very late.
Yeah, right.
And then he's rapping.
Yeah, right. And then he's rapping on top of that.
That's another thing too. Like why when they put a black character, they always gotta fucking like nigger it up and shit.
They don't have anybody to go off of real. Like they don't have any real connection with a black person in Japan where they can be like, oh, that's how that culture works. That's how that idea
even in Power
works.
Rangers.
Yeah.
Remember Zach?
the Black Ranger? Yeah.
Bro, this nigga will come in to the fight and do a little and like, oh, that's nasty.
Yeah, that shit is fly as hell. I ain't gonna front like that.
Was hilarious thinking about it. But like when you think about it as an adult, it's like, that's kind of gross.
Yeah. But yes, I mean, like, they're on the people been on the outside looking in, and they don't always.
What's his name from
source.
Beetleborgs? His father owned a record store.
Yeah, oh, you're right. Oh my gosh, I forgot about that.
Oh man, Saban. Racist.
Yo,
no, I'm just playing. I'm just playing. Y'all
yeah, I mean, there's still stereotypes, and like sometimes the stereotypes represent us to like a little point, but now, you know, a lot of people feel that way, and now it's like, oh well, we're not being represented, so let's get in there. So now we're not just getting a seat at the table anymore. We are making our own tables, and now we can kind of change the directive. So now, like I said, Noir Caesar is drawing their own mangas, and you know, putting our features in there, putting our history in there, and like doing their own thing. And within the next 5 years, it's gonna blow up. Even on Netflix, if you scroll through Netflix now, you're gonna see like more black faces than you did before in animation, for sure.
Animation.
Yeah, in animation. Cause so you got
trying to think.
There's like this show called Kipo. Yeah, they are Neo, but also Kipo, KLPO. She's like a little girl and something. Then you got shows even like on Cartoon Network. You got what's his name? Craig in the Swamp or Craig in the something. I don't know. But I'm definitely seeing a lot more black leads as characters. You know, back in our day, we had like Static, we had Lil Bill, we had Lil Bill. That's, you know, on my list of shows that's not making a comeback. Lil Bill's definitely one of them.
It should never come back. It should stay dead forever. Lil Bill.
Not Frank. What's Fillmore? So
yeah.
So those things were more spread out. But now that we have the streaming platforms, now that we have right, let's take it back.
Way back.
But now that we have more of these platforms to express on, not just Netflix, but also we can create our own platforms if we really want to, and get them streamed online. So whether it's YouTube or whether it's, you know, any of these other type of outlets, now we have more accessibility. Now we have more representation. Now we have more people who are on the outside. They're just like, oh, black culture. This is how black culture is supposed to be done. I want this. Like, you know, the Black Panther broke records. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
all the records.
So I think, you know, Black Panther was definitely like a catalyst in its own way. So I think the person who designed the costume just won some type of award, really big recognition.
Wow.
So, yeah.
What do you think about, so with all the great things that black people are doing, musicians, anything, what do you think about when, you know, other black people come with all these crazy ass fucking conspiracy theories and try to discredit them? Like, Black Panther was released on so-and-so date, coincides with the thing that possibly happened way back in the day, and then also Barack Obama. Like,
I've heard everything from like that to like Black Panther practicing witchcraft, trying to get people to practice witchcraft.
Yeah, right, exactly. That type of stuff I'm talking about.
No matter,
there's always got to be an insidious method and motive behind what black people do, and I feel like it's kind of. I feel like at the end of the day, that might be, you know, perpetrated by somebody who don't want to see us win.
Yeah, so I mean, there's that. And no matter where you come from, no matter what you stand for, there's always going to be somebody who might look like you, might kind of be on the same side as you, who completely perpetuates a different narrative.
But we don't. They don't do that to them.
Oh yes, they do. They do.
Not on the level.
Not on the level because like we're being watched more because we're black. We're always being watched, and because we push things in the forward. You know what I'm saying?
We in the store.
They look to.
They don't want us in the store.
That it's like we're always like the catalyst for moving these things forward. We've always been that. You know what I'm saying? So that's why. And then we're in it. Like you and I are in it. So Jeff down the street, around the block, in the next town over,
right? He's
not gonna look at that as if. But yeah, so there's always going to be somebody who is like trying to see the evil and then like try to expose the evil so they can not just so they can be recognized for it, but also there's just some people are just wired to try to expose evil and they try to make these connections and like try to fit the puzzle pieces. And then the other thing is like we're on the defensive all the time,
right?
So that kind of mutates into trying to see evil in everything so it doesn't destroy us. So it's kind of like a defense mechanism to a point. So I think that's where a lot of that comes from. You know what I'm saying? So whether it's religious or whether it's, usually a lot of the times religion is the background, but also people who don't believe in religion are also like that same way. That fear that religion or the agenda behind this religion is going to take us over and destroy us. I think that's where a lot of that comes from. But it's just like, at some point you have to realize people just want to win, really. Right. They want to win. They want to be comfortable in their setting. They want to be, who they want to be. Like, black people can't be black people if we can't be whoever we want to be. And that's whether we are cis, trans, whether we are practicing African spiritual religion or being Christian. Like, we operate on all these spectrums because we're able to do that because we're just creative. You know what I'm saying? And we have that chip on our shoulder that makes us want to achieve that, harder than the other person who's in the comfortable ass country next to us or in a comfortable ass situation next to us. And that's just for everybody too. I'm not counting out Native Americans. I'm not counting off Indigenous Australians. I'm not counting out Pacific Islander people. I'm not counting out Middle Eastern people. Like, you know what I'm saying? We all have that potential to rise up and use the love to bring us together. I think that's where a lot of creation comes from. Like, you can't really create anything if you don't have a certain love for something. Right. So it's something that's gonna last too, not just something you're making out of spite. So yeah, that's how I look at that.
Got you.
Yeah, good question.
Yeah, for sure. Well, thank you. What don't you subscribe to in today's society?
Hate, I guess.
Okay.
What don't I subscribe to? Hotepism, I guess. Like,
okay.
So you remember like when I was
Dr. Umar Johnson, who hates everything. Like, if he were to see me, he'd hate me.
You probably
for sure.
Yeah,
brother, there's a piece of you that I do love, but the majority of you is a lot lighter than I am, and you have the white man's blood in you. So therefore, you could never be. Fuck him.
Yeah. Listen, it's a lot.
For real, like on all levels, like the dude is a clown. He's a clown. Sorry to say, and I'm not sorry to say actually. Like,
I mean, there's like a lot of conservative black people out there.
Jesus Christ, they are like popping out.
You know what I'm saying? It's not just their hoteps, but they come from all different backgrounds, whether they're super Christian or whether
that nigga's a hotep.
So between the hoteps and the
I'm naming names,
the Hebrew Israelites, like, you know what I'm saying, them too.
Brother Polite,
I guess trying to.
Is that who you meant?
Keep people. I guess he's one of them. Yeah, I don't follow him, so
no shade on him though.
Yeah, no, I don't. Yeah, I've heard his name, but I don't know. Like, I've heard things around his name.
Oh, you never looked into?
Nah.
Nah.
There's so much that I could look into that, it takes a lot. But anyway, so limits. I don't look into. Things still going? I don't look into.
Still.
I gotta save my battery. Y'all gotta watch Son Scotty's channel. SonScotty.tv, right?
Yes, sir. SonScotty.tv on YouTube, baby. Hey, thanks for coming through and watching on the exclusive Facebook feed. Yeah. Wait, hello. This is weird. It's the first time this ever happened. You know what I mean?
Right. But yeah. So anybody who kind of puts
How
us
many people
in
watched?
a particular.
Analytics guy.
Oh, 11 likes.
11 likes. Let's
11 likes. Yeah,
go.
hell yeah.
You got some comments in there?
I think I got 3 comments. I didn't get to see them.
Read them.
It's uploading. I can't go back to it.
Read them live.
Read them loud.
We'll do it live.
We can plug this bad boy out. But yeah, so to your question about are we still on what I don't subscribe to?
Yes.
Yeah, just like putting people in a particular box. Like I said, black people can't be black if they're limited to one thing. Like, I don't personally believe that every black person is supposed to be a Christian. I don't believe every black person is supposed to be Egyptian or every black person, this and that. Because I've grown up being looked at as a black person who's supposed to be a certain type of black person. So, but then I look at just the way that this world has evolved throughout these millennia and how the thing that holds us back is looking at somebody who's different and thinking they should be, if not more like us, not what they already are. So I think that comes to a conflict because it's just like, if you're doing this thing, you're comfortable doing it, you're happy doing it, you're doing this for yourself, for your own enlightenment, for your own enrichment, you don't want to come out of that. And so you got this force telling you that you can't be this. Now you have to oppose them because they're not taking no for an answer. So now you got to clash with them. Mm-hmm. So yeah, so that's why I think it's so diverse. The world is so rich, full of people who have thought of different things and look at the world in different ways, whether it's Indians and understanding how chakras work, or it's Asians looking at how nature works and how we're reflected in nature, whether it's Europeans looking at what black people are doing, and then we're going to redo it.
Right. Put the young remix on.
They got their stuff too, don't get me wrong, but
Sure.
But yeah, and then like American Indians and South American Indians, Native American. Politically correctness is a bitch, yo.
Right. Yeah.
But
that's why
like,
it's just
all these human beings, humanity has been able to look at the world and cultivate these things in different types of ways. So, why try to revert them into something that they're not when they've been doing this thing, for so long.
Right.
So I don't believe putting people in boxes. Like, I believe there's a certain code that people should follow. Like, if you are different, if you are pushing for your demographic to have equal rights, there are certain boundaries that you can't go too far on crossing. It has to be fair for everybody. There has to be, let me think. Say, for example, I'm going to put it out there. So people who are transgender.
Sure.
And when it comes to like this dating spectrum,
right?
Like, trans lives matter. Black trans lives matter. You should
everybody's life matters.
Yeah, everybody's life matters for sure.
It does matter.
And you have to put a scope on certain people, like the black trans who are going through this because they are black and they're trans, right? So they're getting that from both sides,
right?
Just like black women get
That's like a quadruple
black
attack.
And women, right? Exactly. So a black trans woman is catching a lot of fucking heat in this world more than a white trans woman.
Sure.
Or a white trans man.
Right.
So
it was for them in the first place.
Right. So
it's like they let the black people in just because, like, you fit the box. Yeah. But isn't that putting them in a box, though?
What you mean?
By labels?
Yes and no, because humans, we identify things by labels. So everybody has. But
isn't their whole thing to not be labeled?
There is a whole thing to not be labeled, but that's also like having a label and a point because
like they label people who are, you try to be politically correct.
Yeah, I get you.
Born. Yeah. A specific gender, right?
Right.
And they stay that way.
Yeah.
They're called cisgendered, right?
Right.
Someone who subscribes to their given gender identity.
Right. Yeah. So
did I do good? Because that was hard. I'm
think
trying.
that was good.
All right,
listen,
all right.
this is
I'm not gonna get attacked.
no, that was pretty good. Nah, like we're still learning this too.
Right,
just,
right,
like,
exactly. And that's the thing. Like
they gotta give us space to like
hold
kind
on,
of grow.
don't say
like,
they.
yeah, go ahead. No, they is
because
proper.
like, is it?
Is what?
Because I don't know.
I think that
Because like certain people get really offended by like everything you say,
for sure.
and I'm just like, I'm trying to figure out how to do this, but you can't fucking yell at me.
Right. Yeah.
Every time that I take a misstep.
Yeah.
So when I do it, hey, it was this way, this way. Word. All right, my bad. I got you.
Right.
Don't like try to beat me up, and they get mad when I put hands.
Right.
And feet.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And then block, and then there's all this other stuff.
Yeah, exactly. So like I think that whole community needs to realize that a lot of us are trying to accommodate what gender pronouns and be respectful of like their choices, call them by those pronouns, things like that. But if we fuck up, don't jump down my throat, like please.
Yeah. And it comes right back to what I was saying before. Like you feel like there is an agenda against you because you see yourself this way. So now
a lot of people feel like that.
Exactly.
And on both sides.
On both sides. On all sides, you feel like you have to be protected. So, there is a certain way to converse with people and try to get somebody to not think the way you do, but for themselves see what something actually is.
Right.
So,
that's a very
right. You can't like fly off the handle and just be ultra like, sometimes the best defense isn't an attack. So there are ways to kind of like use your language and use facts and use like just kind of point somebody in the right direction without getting too bent out of shape yourself.
Right.
So
right. On both sides.
On all sides, there's always a way to like get somebody to kind of see your way, and it's okay to disagree. Like people, y'all don't have to get into 172 strand comments.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, it gets deep sometimes. Yeah.
Right.
And it's really like if you just accept people for who they are, we don't have this conversation at all.
Right.
And the thing when you get those 999,000 comments and your a status like that is because people are wanting to be bullheaded and not accept that it's 2020 and like things are changing.
Right. Not even that they're changing. They've always kind of been
right.
present.
They've always been
being more to the forefront.
But let's be real, it's changing.
Yeah, you're right.
Like
you're right.
the look on everything is changing. How we accept, how we do things.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Obama set that all in motion.
Yeah,
he did.
Yeah, I agree.
Excuse me, when he legalized gay marriage.
That age, yeah.
Which was a big step for that community. And good on him, because why the fuck not? Can't they be married?
Yeah, right.
Let them do them.
Right. What the fuck they gonna do with me?
Right.
And like people are, like I said, they're defensive. Like if they're, what if my kid sees fucking like two men kissing?
It's like your kid was seeing that already.
Either your kid was seeing that,
kind of.
Your kid was seeing a bunch of shit.
Kind of.
Doesn't mean they're gonna represent.
Because back in the day, I don't think I ever saw two men kissing on the street because like it was the early '90s, early 2000s, or late '90s, early 2000s.
Right.
And like that was people were still in the closet.
Yeah. Right.
Like you did not know.
Yeah. But I knew gay was like a thing.
Yeah, gay was a thing. Yeah, we all knew gay was a thing.
There, but it's like we didn't really see it. But like, even though you see something, you don't necessarily want to be it.
Yeah, exactly. Like I see a lot of shit outside that I don't want to do. Like I see niggas as homeless. I don't want to be homeless.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna take the extra steps, not to be homeless.
Yeah. And then on the other side, there are like
go for anything.
There are communities around the world where like gay isn't an idea. Like in some
gay is what?
Like there's no gay people there because it's a really small population. We're a big, diverse population with a lot of things.
I think that's false.
Yeah.
For sure, because people are always going to have feelings and love who they love or want to love, but it might not be accepted in that culture. There's a lot of examples we could use.
I think
people get stoned to death still on the street for being gay. It's not funny.
Yeah, not at all.
It's like, that's some real shit. People like are dying still. And that could be considered a culture with no gay people, but it is a mad gay people. They come over here and they be gay. They be gay.
Yeah.
For real.
Yeah.
For real. I don't know if you know, but like, things give it up crazy. Pause. And I'm not speaking. And I'm not speaking from experience, by the way. Oh, air. Air. I'm saying, like, this is what people have told me. how like people from certain cultures come over here and like, oh, they're so suppressed at home. They come over here and they go buck fucking wild, just doing what they want to do.
Yeah.
You catch my drift? You know what I'm
I do.
saying?
Yeah, I do.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
yeah,
it's a lot of them. It's not all that they all straight. They be in their little subsets wanting to do what they do.
Gotcha.
And I think that's what you were saying about is like small communities. Like there might be an island where there's no gay people.
Right. Simply because like they.
But then again, somebody might have a kid, and that kid looks at the same sex as like you. And then there's a gay person, and then there's somebody who's gay. So, even in the animal kingdom, Stewie gay as hell. He is. He tried to fuck a male dog in the store one time. That's just dog. That's animals. Like it's everywhere. Yes. It's like unescapable, inescapable.
And sometimes I try not to use like animals as a representation or reflection of humanity, but sometimes it's like,
bro.
When you mate with a female, sometimes you try to bite your head off after you mate with her.
Yeah,
right?
We're animals. Seriously,
of this planet.
No, literally. At the end of the day, humans are animals. If you look at how I just had this conversation with my father, if you look at how like the male of a species attracts a female of a species, they do their dance. You know what I mean? They get violent with other males in that same species. Lions always whooping other lions' ass to show them, yo, dominance. This dick over here is what you want. Fucking insects everywhere. They all have a spit on my floor.
It's like
they all have
deteriorate.
They all have, a way of attracting females. And what we were talking about was like a lot of females are attracted to violence. Like when they see you like yelling and they see you get aggressive, they like that. It's an animal thing. Animals like when other animals are aggressive because they know deep down subconsciously that male will be able to protect her and her young. Same way like men subconsciously like on a grand scale like women with broad hips because they know subconsciously that is good for childbearing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure.
It's all nature. It's all intertwined. We try to a lot of times, I think, separate the human experience from the animal kingdom because we feel like we're above the animal kingdom.
That's a big part.
When
of it,
in
for sure.
the end, we are animals. We're not. We're different in the way of like we're intelligent and we can build things to sustain our lives and have it better and we can communicate and talk.
We create podcasts.
Yeah, exactly. Stewie ass never tried to get on here on the mic and
you never
with
seen
some
another
of his
monkey
friends.
try to like do
Right. So we have to understand that on a primal level, we are still animals.
Yeah, we still got the primal.
And I bow out from my little.
That was dope though. That was good. That was real good. I like that.
Yeah, I want people to understand that. We get too wrapped up in self, and it gets kind of narcissistic
for sure.
at times, where we start to try to step back from things that you can't really step back from.
Right. Yeah, you just gotta be able to learn and be able to.
I could go on a lot more, but
we both could, bro.
That's why we're such good friends because we can like combat with logic and words and like have verbal combat,
but also come to a constructive,
constructive and also learn something.
Right.
And that's what we need to do as far as like a black culture. Is we're quick to like, fuck you, nigga, did it when we get into an argument. You really need to take it slow and realize and understand what somebody else is saying. Take their point into consideration. Because you're not right all the time.
Right.
I'm not wrong all the time. So therefore, we could learn something from each other and teach the kids.
Exactly.
Because at the end of the day, that's what we're going to leave this all to.
There's an African proverb that says, we're not here in the present. Okay, so we don't own the world. We don't own the world. We borrow it from our children. You know what I'm saying?
Great saying.
We have it for a temporary amount of time, but we still have to give it to someone at the end of the day.
Right.
So, yeah.
Great saying. We need things like that because there's, like I said earlier, not knowing self.
Mm-hmm.
It's a detriment.
Oh yeah.
To not know yourself, not know who you are, is, you know, it could fuck you up. It could put you in stupid goofball ass situations.
Straight up.
You know what I mean?
Straight up. Yeah.
You got to know, you know, what you can take, what you won't take.
Mm-hmm.
You got to know how you would move in a situation before it happens.
Yeah.
You know, it's all part of knowing yourself
and knowing where you belong, where you don't belong.
Exactly.
You
When
can't
you're
just
able,
go anywhere.
and when you're able to master that, you can master anything.
Mm-hmm. I believe it.
Knowledge of self. It even says in every single religious text, "Man, know thyself first."
That is it. That's key.
And we skip right over that part.
Yeah, yeah.
The Lord created the heavens and the earth, and
Yeah, yeah.
You forget all about man, know thyself.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And now we wonder why we're fucked up now.
The
book.
The wise man know that he knows nothing at all.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. I felt like I was getting to that, and then I derailed.
Yeah, oh yeah, we're complimenting each other.
But
like,
that's, exactly. Mm-hmm. You. I sound like the little kid from the video. when you can do anything. But you're better when you know you don't know something.
Yeah.
And you have to, you know, be humble. Well, not humble, because I don't like that word anymore. If you look up the dictionary definition, it's kind of
humility is like a thing you have to have. Like,
right.
Yeah.
When you're able to, you know, not take yourself so damn serious, and you're able to step back and understand that you don't know all the shit you don't know.
Right. Yeah.
That's half the battle, is knowing what you don't know.
Right. And being satisfied that you might not ever know it.
Exactly.
There might not ever be a solid 100% fact that it is something, but you still have to understand that you know you have a level to operate in,
right.
And that you shouldn't act like that. Yeah, that is something that it isn't, and try to tell everybody else that it is what you think it is.
Right.
Because a bunch of other people agree with you, and you think it's this, but really, at the end of the day, what do you know?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Word.
Good block of time right there. God,
this has been Open Up with an A.C. Outsider.
Excuse me. I wasn't in the damn pocket. Do you want to leave? Were you done? I don't know. Were you done?
I don't know how long this show is. How long?
Bro,
it don't matter.
We're you know, we go until we stop. Until I can't come up with like connections anymore. So I ran out of fucking extension cords. I don't know. And then I go, did you want to talk about anything else? No. All right. Word.
Yeah, that's what's authentic. That's what's authentic about Open Up.
Right.
Open it up. It's open. Like no matter what's on the other side of that door, like it can keep coming out.
Right.
Open up. Yeah. Hell yeah.
And I have you to thank for like the interview skills.
Yo, you got some skills, bro. Like this has been a really good ass conversation. This is
thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Goddamn Scotty in the morning.
yeah, like
Scotty's universe.
I can talk.
Yeah.
I have the gift of gab.
Gab, hell yeah.
Shout out my man L Biz. What he said? Banana put in your bra.
L Biz is on the show too, wasn't he?
Yeah, he's the last episode, episode 18. It just dropped. Yeah.
No, I'm saying he was on Wolves Den back in the day.
He was.
Yeah.
We talked about that a little bit.
I'm saying, man. Like,
yep.
Urban legends.
Like you were saying, urban legends. No, they're local
saying,
legends.
Saying,
urban legends are like, I don't know if he really existed, but other man said they did exist. But I don't know if they really did. I ain't never heard no music from the nigga. But no, I got a CD in the room. That's a local legend.
Oh shit.
An urban legend would be like some mysterious homeless man that everyone talks about but never sees. Ooh.
It's coming back.
Rest in peace to Sly too.
Yeah, rest in peace Sly. Yeah, I heard about them. Like, yo, our boy,
Frigid.
No, not Frigid. Destrument? No, what's he go by?
Shay Hawk.
Yeah.
What about him?
Wait, no. Who you thinking about? I'm thinking about
Shay Hawk,
the
rapper.
Parlor. Yeah. See, this is when alcohol.
I don't be a gypsy parlor, my guy.
He was with
I know you. Ocho. Trey Ocho.
Yeah. Trey Ocho. Yeah. He made a really moving post about Sly and his interactions with him being right in the heart of where the space where Sly occupies and how he was humanitized, like being somebody who has mental illness, being somebody who is homeless, who has that the same way Claire was. You know what I'm saying? Humanitized a certain way, like, and that's the thing about Buffalo. Like, I feel like and I haven't been in other cities to really know, but I know that there is a heart for everybody out here. Like there is somebody out here in this city who will look at you and love you for who you are. Like loving you doesn't mean I'm gonna take you home and feed you and clothe you and all this stuff. But it is, I recognize that you are in a certain situation. I don't look down on you on it about it, but I understand that you are a human and that you need to feel some type of reciprocity. No matter what you are going through, no matter if there's something mental that is keeping you ill, that's stopping you from showing out the way other humans do, but I'm still going to reciprocate by being a good person to you. So I think Buffalo definitely has that.
What is it called? The city of good neighbors?
That is it. Don't feel like it sometimes. If I go to South Buffalo and I start like breakdancing in the middle of the street, and someone's gonna say, "Hey, there's a nigger dancing outside my door."
Kaisertown. And that's what goes back to what you said, knowing where you belong, knowing where you can go. A lot of people are like, I can go anywhere. Like it's okay. I'm not scared. It's like, bro, it's not about being scared. It's about being smart about where you are. If you know these niggas over here is wildin' because you got a Bills hat on and that's all you rock is Bills shit, guess who you shouldn't go by? The niggas who be wildin' on Bills niggas. Seriously. I used to be like that too. Yeah. I'm not gonna lie. When I was a lot younger,
I'm gonna walk in here and anyway.
I was like, fuck this shit. I'm stomping wherever. Being older, being wiser, knowing what I don't know. And all this other shit. I know now not to go stomping around where the fucking people who hate the Bills are. Why? Not because I'm pussy. Not because I'm scared. It's because I don't want to take an army to go and fight somewhere where I don't need to be. I'm cool over here in this house, on this side of town. I'm Gucci. I never have to go to South Buffalo or Hamburg or fucking West Seneca or wherever the fuck else the people don't want those people to be. Me going there isn't making a statement saying like I can do whatever. Sure, you can do that and be a dickhead and like come out and fucking do what, whatever. But, preservation of self, is taught, at an early age. And as humans ourselves, even the people who want to kill themselves, for example, people who jump off the Golden Gate Bridge and survive, ridiculous. One of the guys who did, he was talking about how everybody he talked to who jumped off immediately regretted it. Because as a human, you're not supposed to want to die. Nah. You know what I mean? Like, they were like, fuck, I jumped off this goddamn bridge. I'm about to fucking die. Fuck! I could have, there's another way.
That goes back to animal instinct, like you were saying.
Exactly. Preservation of self. So, if you know there's danger over there with them niggas, us niggas ain't going over there with them niggas. Because it's dangerous over there. And we know that. Maybe one day we want to be brave and conquer over there with them niggas. Right. But why? When we're good over here. You know what I mean? And that goes for a lot of things. Not just Buffalo. For sure. Not just Buffalo. For sure. Goes for a lot of things. You can talk about that with countries.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm not even going to get into world politics. Because I ain't a diplomat.
I ain't a diplomat.
And I don't fucking know. But... yeah, man. Yeah. No, do you have anything else you want to talk about though? On a serious note,
man. I don't know. I mean, we covered a lot of stuff, bro. Like really good interview. So every time we link up, we have a great conversation, no matter what.
It starts off goofy and funny.
We get serious for a minute, right? Then we end up talking shit and being funny throughout that seriousness. But at the same time, we come to a constructive resolution.
We always learn something. That's the thing.
For sure. But yeah, I just want people to keep an open mind. You know what I'm saying? If I could plug myself too, Ace the Outsider is my Instagram, at Ace_the Outsider.
We're going to have all that in the description.
All that in the description. Yeah, you better click on that shit. If you made it this far, you better click on it. I hope everybody enjoyed, the conversation. I know I don't try to be like the enlightened one that everybody should go to. Right. But,
you're just somebody who thinks more.
Yeah.
Or thinks on different planes.
Right, and I put it out there, not trying to convince anybody that they should come to my side of thinking, but that I really want everybody to win, no matter what race, background, gender, color, wherever you come from.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I want you to look at the person next to you, see that they're doing something great, appreciate it, and reciprocate it by doing right by them and giving them the space to do it, but also doing right for yourself by loving that they're doing that, and then like doing your own thing, no matter what level you operate on. Whether you're trying to be a billionaire, you don't have to be a billionaire. You don't have to try to be a millionaire. You don't have to try to be super successful, popping on Instagram. You can be the person with 100 followers and be okay, satisfied with your life. Like,
of course,
you don't have to, try to get to somewhere. Like, we all belong somewhere, and we can do anything.
That all goes back to knowing yourself.
Right. But, like knowing yourself, being happy with yourself. Okay, 600 pounds. Okay, and you're 600 pounds. Maybe you might need to do something because it's affecting your life. It's affecting your health.
Preservation of self.
Right. Yeah, you got to preserve yourself. But the one way to preserve anything is love. Like, that's what it comes down to. It's love. Not just love being saying, okay, I'm just okay with that person doing it. They can do whatever they want.
Right.
Love is understanding that person is in a certain type of mode that is part of this world, and just being okay with it. So that's the light way of saying it. But I'm
love
definitely
is
glad.
very complicated.
Yeah.
A lot more than what you just said.
For sure. Oh,
love
yeah.
is like,
yeah, but look at how the world loves. Look at how other people love. Look at how other people look at where the love is and what happens as a result of love. Like, the result, if you love a person, is a lot better than if you try to keep them in the box.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta like give them the space to kind of do that thing, unless they're like directly making your life a detriment, or doing a detriment to your life. You really don't gotta worry about them. If they're not doing a detriment to someone else who's next to them, then you don't really have to worry about it.
Mm-hmm.
So just follow the love. Follow the love and give love back, for sure.
Well said.
Yes, sir.
Well said, sir.
Yeah.
Before we go, I have a question for you.
Go for it.
Have you seen this podcast?
Have I seen it?
All the way through? Any episode? No.
No.
Doesn't matter. All right. So I ask everybody.
Yeah.
Do you know what an axolotl is?
Is that an animal?
Yes.
Yeah, it's like a prehistoric something.
Oh. Prehistoric, he says.
An axolotl.
Actually, you're wrong.
It's a South American. Oh, that thing is salamander.
Yeah,
not a salamander, but a type of reptile.
Water.
Yeah.
Salamander.
Yeah.
Lizard.
Yeah.
Thing.
A Pokemon's based off of that.
Whopper.
Do you like mudkips? Oh, yeah. Sorry. Yeah. Mudkip too, but yeah, also
Mudkip.
Whooper and Quagsire. Yeah.
Quagsire, fucking annoying ass. Oh, Wobbuffet. Oh my god.
Yeah, we ain't gonna talk about Wobbuffet.
Whopper.
Oh man, I really want to get back into Pokemon videos, bro.
Yeah, these guys are cool.
Yeah.
My brother has 2 of them.
Has he shown me those before?
Probably not.
Did he just get them?
Yeah, not too long ago.
Okay, because I remember he had a leopard gecko. And then he had
he's got 2 leopard geckos.
Axolotls, though. Yeah. Okay, yeah. Now that I say it, now that I've seen it, yeah. There is something else that ends in a axolotl that is like a South American mythical.
Quetzalcoatl.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah.
I know my shit, dog.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I know my shit. The minds, dog. They tried to summon my man Quetzalcoatl by sacrificing a lot of niggas on the top of the pyramid.
Whether it's mythology or politics, bro, like me and Son Scotty, like,
you know what I'm saying, man?
Do this.
Versace karate. Got it.
Yeah. Yo, this is all better be you better like break these videos up and like put them in like 30
I know,
1-minute clips.
I have to, dude.
And like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's how you do it.
I have to.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna count that as you didn't know what an axolotl is, so I'm gonna keep asking people.
No,
Before it was a pangolin, and then fucking Frigid Giant comes in here.
He's
like,
what a pangolin is,
and here he come. I know what that is.
Yeah.
I was like, son of a bitch.
Yeah,
I watched
Animal
shit.
Planet. I watched Animal Planet too, motherfucker.
That was my shit. Now we're gonna go to some other extreme shit.
Okay, no,
so
let me try to see if I can something. Do you know what a water bear is?
Yeah, of course I do.
Damn it.
It's,
Okay,
called a tardigrade.
Yeah, you're right.
It can
survive.
It can survive in space, nigga. Yeah. In the
Extreme
vacuum of space, it can survive in the furnace of a volcano.
Yeah.
Frozen,
yeah.
In Antarctica.
Oh,
I know.
Yeah.
I know about water bears, dog.
What about a Wendigo?
I know about Wendigos, a spiritual Native American mythology that when they die horribly, they become cannibals and this giant monster. And if they eat you, you become a Wendigo. Yeah. Try again.
You know what a transgender is?
I do know what a transgender is.
People think they're myths.
And we're not going to go into what they are because it could be taken out of context and everything else. You can cancel me. Try. This has been This has been Open Up, something new. Open Up, episode 19 with my man Ace the Outsider, aka A.C.E, aka Anthony My Words Pierce, aka
what I used to go, Little Big Man on Campus.
Little Big Man on Campus. Ah, yes.
Yeah.
My guy, yo, thanks for coming through. I appreciate it.
It's all love, man.
Great talk. I'm glad I finally got you up here.
Yes, sir.
All right, man. Cool. Yes, sir. We'll see you later. Peace.